Hello my friends, this is Karina from karinawisdom.com and we are on day 16, and today was kind of like a decision day. I made a decision. I decided to go after a goal, a specific outcome in a short period of time. So even though I have this goal of 100 days to or less to more than 5K, which is the big goal, you also can chunk it down into smaller goals. So I have a goal for these upcoming days, this 1 week period that I'm in. And I actually learned this from there's this NFL football player, and I can't recall his name. And they said to him, "What do you credit your success? You know, why have you been such a big star in the NFL?" And he said, every day when he comes to train, he sets mini goals. And he doesn't leave his training until he has achieved those mini goals. And imagine all those mini goals, they just come together and just tie into your bigger goal. So yes, for now, I do have a mini goal, which is to complete my DMO every single day. That's to create the video for you, create a blog, and to watch one motivational video. And that's it for my DMO. So that's my mini goal. And in addition, I also have other little mini goals, which I'll explain to you later what this goal is for this week. How am I feeling? Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, I am just so excited about this upcoming challenge that I have. And I'm going to get into it a little bit because I know that you're curious. The basis of this challenge is everyone works differently. You have some that go after things slow and steady. You have some that are fast and furious. And you also have some that they go at whatever pace they feel like. You know those people. But everybody goes at their own pace. And what this is about, it's really knowing about yourself and how you handle situations. You have to understand how you work, because it's like doing your own personal SWOT analysis, which is your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Once you are aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, you'll be able to put things in place that will ensure that your weaknesses doesn't stop you from your success, or build those weaknesses into strengths. So I know how I work, and we're in week 3, and the plan is to monetize this site by week 4. So we're in the period of day 15 to day 21, and we're going to look at monetizing from day 22 to day 28. Now, could I have gone after this monetization part earlier? Yeah, of course. Anything is possible. I mean, I could have taken a different route in terms of how I could monetize a site online. I could also do some outsourcing in terms of getting things added and done to the site. I didn't have to build the site myself. You know, if I'd given that to someone else to do, I would have gotten to this part much faster. But everything takes moolah, everything takes cold, hard cash. And you know my budget. I'd already set my budget at $500 for this entire journey. So as much as I can do by myself, I will, so that the money that I've set for this can be invested in more like the hardcore infrastructure, like getting the domain name, paying for hosting, paying for my autoresponder, and all the other things that come together with running an online business. In addition to me building this whole thing, I like this new term now, I am building my online property, or I'm building my web property, because it is like you're in the real estate business for online. You're building a property. So in addition to building my web property, I also have other projects and obligations on my plate. So, like for instance, today, I really would have loved to do more than I've already gotten done. However, I already had an obligation that took up a lot of my time and energy that was planned before I got into this whole challenge. However, because I have my DMO and that is my mini goal for the day, it's not going to stop me from getting my DMO done. Plus, I'm on fire to get other things done, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So, I noticed that for myself that I work harder with forced deadlines, meaning that my success or how much I get done is accelerated whenever I force myself into a corner where I just have no other choice but to do it. That's just what works for me. That's me speaking from my experience and watching how I work in all the different situations that I've been faced in and what I produce at the end. So I've done this before and it has worked for me. I've looked through all the situations where I've been faced with my back against the wall and how I came out smelling like roses. So I created that own situation for me. And so you are going to have to take some time to sit down and look at when you're most productive and tie that back to what pushed you to be the most productive and try and recreate that situation for yourself. So what's the deal? What is the deal for day 21 to 28? Well, the plan is to go from 0 moolah to 1 moolah. Yes, you heard me correctly. $1. You see, when you're starting out your own online business, the hardest thing to do is to make your first dollar. But once you have figured out how to make your first dollar, you have a process and you can build and scale on that process and build and scale on how much money you make. So I'm just focused on going from $0 to $1. Once I've figured out that process and then I've fine-tuned that process, then I'll have a higher financial goal. But for now, we are keeping it simple. So how have I put the pressure on? How have I backed myself into a corner to make sure that I put myself in a position to achieve that goal on day 21 to 28? Now, here's what I've done. Well, number one, I've held myself publicly accountable by announcing this to you guys on the video and also in the associated blog post. The other thing that I've done is, in order to generate cash from my value funnel, I'm going to have to drive some highly targeted traffic to my funnel. Now, I know that I've mentioned that you focus on one traffic source that you master. Well, this traffic source that I'm going to be using is actually not a free traffic source. So I'm going to have to pay for this. And it's something called solo ads. And what a solo ad is, it's someone who has an email list. You give them the link to your funnel and they promote your funnel to their list. And whenever people click on that link to your funnel, that counts as one click. So I'm going to be testing out my funnel next week with 100 clicks that I'm going to pay for. And I'd already set aside in my budget of that $500 for this journey. I've already set aside $200 of that to pay for solo ads. So what's awesome about solo ads is they are easy. The hardest thing about solo ads is finding a good vendor, a good reputable vendor with a source that responds to what you have on offer. And the other part of the solo ad is making sure that your squeeze page actually attracts people and encourage them to put their email into your squeeze page. Because if you don't have their email, you can't build a list. If you don't have a list, you can't provide value. If you can't provide value, you won't make money. So that's pretty much the formula. You've heard me talking about this whole buying solo ads, which, by the way, I plan on doing that tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to research some vendors. I'm going to send some emails, ask some questions, and then tomorrow I'm going to make a selection and a purchase. Now, why am I going to do that when, yes, you guessed it, I don't have the funnel as yet? It's half ready. I still have the videos to make. I still have the autoresponder series to make. And that's what I mean by backing myself into a corner. I could easily put all of this stuff off until next week. Gave myself an additional 7 days to get this done. But hey, that's an additional 7 days less for me to generate an income with this site. So as a result, I'm going to buy the traffic. Once I've bought the traffic, I know that the traffic has to go somewhere. And where that somewhere that the traffic has to go definitely has to be built. So here is the date, or here is my commitment. I commit to having my value funnel up and operational by June 7, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, meaning that on June 7, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you can actually see my funnel in action, and I will have traffic just slowly going through my funnel. Now, that's one part of the pressure that I put myself under. The second part of the pressure that I put myself under, when you go to my blog, KarinaWisdom.com, you'll actually see a print screen of a Facebook post that I put into the private group of the coaching program that I'm a member of. It actually states my commitment. However, in addition, it says that anyone who leaves a comment on this thread within the next 24 hours will get $50 if I do not get my funnel ready. Yeah, I know. So far, 3 persons have commented on it, which means that that's $150. So guess what? It's either I get my funnel ready or I waste the $100 to $200 that I'm going to spend on traffic, and I plus give away $150. Hello? I'm not going to waste my money, and I'm not going to give away that money because I can't keep my commitment. So guess what? The only other choice I have is to get it done. Now, you don't have to put yourself under that kind of pressure or back yourself into that corner unless you know this is how this works for you. That's why I stress the importance of you knowing exactly how you work, exactly what conditions you know will push you to perform way above your potential, way above what you think you can do. So today's message, I'm going to actually focus on something that I heard from Daymond John. He's actually one of the investors on Shark Tank. And on that show, he definitely sees a lot of entrepreneurs. So if there's anyone that knows about the attributes of a successful entrepreneur, so here's what Daymond shared as the 3 attributes of an aspiring entrepreneur. And I encourage you to really listen to the examples that he has given and sit down and think for yourself if you see these attributes within you. And if you don't, you need to figure out what you can do to ensure that you're in the right mindset so that when you start your own online business, it will definitely just take off. So here we go. Daymond shares what separates the adults from the children when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Number 1, they set a goal and they can actually visualize themselves where they want to be. And in essence, Daymond says, you cannot hit a target you cannot see. So for instance, for myself, every morning I visualize my goal as a success, as complete, feeling the feelings that I'd actually feel when I get to day 100. And that's the process that I go through every morning. I see it as complete. I live it, I breathe it, because there is no other option. No other option. I won't even say there's one option. This is it. That's it. This is it. It just has to happen. The number 2 is they learn and study what they're going to do, and then they apply themselves to the process, just like I am doing the same thing. I'm applying myself to whatever I'm learning in this coaching program, holding myself publicly accountable to you guys, and also sharing everything that I have learned, because by teaching you what I am learning, it allows me to absorb the information faster. And number 3, they absolutely will not take no for an answer. You will figure it out. You will get more no's than yeses. And in addition, they have that peak mindset, that whatever it takes attitude. Do you have that whatever it takes attitude? Are you willing to push through and get this done regardless? Yes, when I made that commitment, and it's a bold commitment, and by the way, I just checked my Facebook and there are 2 other comments, so we are up to $250 now. When I made that commitment saying that I will get my value funnel up and running by July 7, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, I made that public statement. Plus, I'm holding myself accountable by giving $50 to each and every person that leaves a comment on that thread if I do not keep that commitment and make it happen by that day. That is me doing whatever it takes for me to get it done. That is what works for me. How did I get that attitude? Well, it comes from developing that peak mindset, from believing that it's possible. Because if you do not believe that it's possible, then you're just wasting your time. You have to believe that it's possible. And what fuels your belief that it's possible is when you know your why. When you know why you have to do it. And especially if you're following the process of someone who has successfully completed it before. They have given you the formula. You just have to go out there and make it happen. However, the formula is only 20% of the game. And I know you don't want to hear that. You want to hear that the formula works by itself and it's 80%. Well, you know, I'm here to be brutally honest with you. The formula is only 20% of the game. The rest of it is the mindset to get it done. Well, my friends, just click like to this video, and you can also click subscribe to my channel so you get the latest video as soon as it's published. In the description below, you'll see the link to my website, KarinaWisdom.com. Click it and jump over to the website and you'll see my did sheet for today. Exactly what I've done to move me forward to achieving my goal of 100 days to 5K or more. While you're over there, you'll see a nice bright yellow box. Just enter your email address there and click Give Me Access Now. And you'll get on my list so you'll receive all the latest updates and insider insights of exactly what I'm up to. Well, my friends, thank you for watching this video. This is Karina from KarinaWisdom.com signing off. Boom.